I'm thirsty.
Even better than Mama. Don't worry, there's always next time. It's okay, Mama will help you.
What's cooking, Mama? Has your latest video game darkened your soul? Embattled and towed away at your sanity? Has your sweat and tear cup come to a head? Well, keep that game genie in your closet, and instead up your game with Coca-Cola Ultimate, the perfect accompaniment to white-knuckle scorn and gamer snacks. This cold brew combines the sugary sweet Coca-Cola taste with a blast of golden experience points. Take a single sip, and now you're playing with power! What the? Freaking shoddy equipment. This is your good buddy DJ. Guess I've been at this for 15 years. This light's starting to get a bit old. Bear with me, everybody out there. There, I think that took care of it. What are we looking at here today? Coca-Cola Ultimate Limited Edition, brought to you by League of Legends. League of Legends? Isn't that a video game? Experience Coca-Cola Ultimate, the latest Coca-Cola Creations sparkling beverage to matchmake with the shelves. What does that mean? Join as Coca-Cola Creations and League of Legends come together to unlock Coca-Cola Ultimate's Plus XP flavor. You know those things that you earn in role-playing video games like Dragon Warrior or Final Fantasy? Apparently they have a taste. The limited edition flavor, made in co-creation with Riot Games, takes the recognizable Coca-Cola taste and adds the electrifying taste of Plus XP. Whether gaming or watching, reach out for an ice-cold Coca-Cola Ultimate to celebrate your fandom. Try the Plus XP before the game is over. So this thing is infused with Plus XP. What is that going to do to me when I drink it? Am I going to start to build muscle? Am I going to start to learn new skills? Maybe I'll even learn some magic. Although, you know what? I think I'm confusing that with the materia flavor. If I down a six-pack of this, I'm going to be able to summon Ifrit, or Bahamut, or the Magus Sisters? Actually, that wouldn't be a good idea. I would imagine the three of them would talk your head off. They just seem like a bunch of yentas. Needless to say, I'm almost not talking about Coca-Cola at all. The obvious theme of this episode is going to be video games! And wouldn't you know it, I have this video game show that I do. Now, I've been asking relentlessly to the viewers to give me some requests for bad video games to review, and for the most part, I've received zero feedback. Guys, give me something so easily! Give me the word and I'll be yours to command for 5 or so minutes! But thankfully, I did have one taker. Viewer Pete Deck requested that I take a look at a game that has popped up all over my childhood. Perhaps more so than deservedly. It's Mystery Quest, developed by Taxon in 1988 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I remember this being one of the first new third-party games to pop up after the NES's initial black box run. Maybe it had that going for it, because it felt like all my friends had it. Back in the day, Mystery Quest seemed as mandatory as Duck Hunt. Every kid had it in their collection, and every kid would claim it to be a lot of fun. I never owned it, and if memory serves, it was for good reason. The few times I did play it, not only did I find it a bad game by every definition, but it made for a truly miserable time that I could never get back. But over 20 years have gone by since then. I think I've changed as a person. I see now virtues my teenage self did not. Maybe what I need to do is look at this game with a brand new, seasoned set of eyes. Ugh, first impression's a doozy. As soon as the action starts, it comes off as remarkably cheap. This vague, white-bread, nothing-doing hero, accompanied with bland, generic, beepy-sounding music. The graphics? Just enough there to make it a game. This is so basic, it honestly feels like a game you would find on a bootleg 50-in-1 cart. This right here is a 100% original concept, with a whole world and backstory built from scratch, but that doesn't necessarily mean they deserve a cookie. To this day, games are made without a damn's worth of care. They make a game just to make a game. And if you need a bulletproof method to find out whether or not they cared, look at your hero. If that hero attacks his enemies by shooting either stars or bubbles, they didn't care. Here you'll clearly see bubbles. They didn't care. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but do the research. So many games do this. Stars and bubbles. As generic as it gets. Okay, DJ, pause. And breathe. You're not being fair to this game. These are all simple aesthetics. Maybe if I just give the game a chance to win me over? Okay, let's just march forth, get deep into its world, and see where it takes me. Oh no. This is one of those video games where you constantly lose energy. Perhaps you are familiar with this bizarre affliction. Some of your favorite video game characters had it, like Master Higgins and the whole cast of Gauntlet. It's nice to see their inclusion here. Hey, if you can control video game characters with asthma and diabetes, then why not this, right? I want to play the game that's based on sleep apnea. You need to collect energy power-ups as you go to keep your health bar nice and yellow, or white, whatever. Which means getting hit is out of the question. You let an enemy hit you once, eventually Father Time is going to catch up with you and you're going to bleed out. By the way, one life. You die so much as once, it's game over and you have to continue at the last checkpoint you reached. And this is a pretty long game we're talking about here. And later, you'll even encounter some insta-kill hazards here and there. Where the hell are the power-ups? I've encountered some nugs here and there, but none of they are giving me squat! No! No, no, no! They're invisible! You have to know beforehand exactly where to jump to expose the health power-ups. Not only that, but look how much health they give you! Okay, that qualifies as a squirt. So the moral of the story is, you will need to know where every health power-up is, you'll need to get every health power-up, you'll need to do it fast. Even if you play the damn game perfectly and don't get hit, this character has weak legs and it hurts to stand, so he needs to constantly eat to keep his health up. Mystery quest? I'll say it's a mystery why this poor wimpy man even tried to go on a quest. Maybe his quest is to go to a hospital. Speaking of mystery quest, what am I doing? What is the goal here? I've been walking from left to right for near 10 minutes now, slaughtering everything in my path with bubbly badness, with no end in sight. I'm passing all these little doors it looks like I can go in, but Svengats. As simple as Super Mario is, his quest was to save a princess. It's not much, but it's something. Sonic was rescuing animals. Donkey Kong was rescuing bananas. Pac-Man was feeding his fat stomach. What is my mission? This is probably one of those deals where you need the instruction booklet to explain the story to you. And to me, that's the height of laziness. For all we know, they might have made the game first and came up with a story afterward to make it not seem like such a pointless exercise. Kind of the way the Atari 2600 would give you a game, then come up with some crazy box art to try to define what they were trying to do. Now before I get challenged on this, I am fully aware the Japanese version had a text crawl and opening cutscenes to, get this, explain a story! I cannot stress how important it is to include this! Without it, the game is pretty much broken beyond repair! Now this was on the Famicom Disk System, so it was probably omitted in the US for memory reasons. But come on! As simple as this game is, there is no way they couldn't have included it on an NES cart! This isn't exactly blast processing we're looking at here! As it is, they don't even mention your character's name until he dies. Maybe it's like Fight Club. In death, he has a name. Whoa! Okay, suddenly I can go in a building! Well, there's something! When you get into this indoor area, you'll be thankful to hear some other music besides that irritating MIDI jaunt outside, but give this new song a minute, you'll be sick of it as well. As you will these new surroundings. You thought outside was a mundane experience? You don't know the half of it. There are enough doors in this place to rival Dr. Chaos! On top of which, there are hidden doors, some of which are activated by abilities I guarantee you didn't even know you had. I can destroy blocks now? When there clearly wasn't any indication I could before? Are the very controls of this game a mystery too? I went in a door, I came out a different door, I have no idea if I'm progressing. Oh, and by the way, getting lost? Not an option, because don't forget, you lose health just by standing around. You need to get in there, do it, and get back outside as quick as you can. It would maybe help if I knew what it was that I'm supposed to do? If I knew why I even had to come in here? Look at that damn smile on his puss. Why is he so happy? Doesn't he realize he's in hell? You know, why the hell should I even continue? For all I know, every step that I make through this place is bringing me further and further away from my goal. Well, thankfully, we live in the internet age, so all I gotta do is hit YouTube and research how this game is supposed to be played, maybe check out a full walkthrough. I'll report back to you. Give me about 5 seconds. Well, I watched a full instructional playthrough and there is no way I'm going through all of that. Let me tell you what playing this game is like. Imagine, if you will, you are in a maze patterned to look like the living room of your house. Every time you walk through any door or hallway, it leads you to an identical looking room. You can't backtrack. You have to keep choosing new ways out. There is nothing to indicate whether you are going the right or wrong way. You might very well be going in circles. You just have to keep going. Pray that your choices don't have you wandering forever, and keep track of where you've been. Because just in case you make it through, you need to remember what you did for the next time so you can do it again. Every once in a while you will see a number on the wall to indicate you made it to the next floor, but it can be a while before you ever see that number go up. Oh, and by the way, whenever you enter a new chamber, check every square inch of it, because you'll be needing to find key nibbly-pibblies in order to progress. Among these items are keys. You need lots of keys, even to reopen doors you've already opened, which, as mentioned, all look the same, and you're going in circles. How do you get keys? Well, by killing transparent pterodactyls. These things will attack you from a distance in tight hallways with low ceilings, making it mathematically impossible to avoid their attacks. Every time you take a wrong turn and go in a circle, they respawn, and you'll have to take their beatings again to get another key. And oh yeah, once again, I gotta bring up, your energy is already constantly dwindling. As for the other items you'll be getting, who knows what they are, who knows what they do, who knows how many you'll need. But they are all of dire importance, and you'll need to figure out what they do and where to use them in order to proceed. If by some stroke of miracle you can make it out of Daedalus's torment, it's not over. You are back out in the wilderness. You have to survive long enough, uncovering every hidden power-up along the way until you make it to the next one. Yup! You just scratched and clawed, depending on miracles to get you out of that stank pit. Now, you gotta jump into another. And this one's gonna be bigger, deeper, and more demanding. By the end, you have to clear 4 of these interior areas. And remember what I said about you only having 1 life? Maybe you thought I was overreacting? That somehow you think that's fair? Well, wait until you get into the castle, my friend. The crazy jumps they expect you to make, the awful momentum your character has that he can't build speed without firing his weapon, the low ceilings your head is bound to hit the 1st, 2nd, and 12th tries? You finally make it across, what do you expect to happen? Yup, there's another hellish jump you gotta make. You die on jump number 2, you gotta go back to jump number 1. You gotta miraculously make it through 1 perfect run, and oh yeah! You still don't know where you're going or what the hell you're doing! Maybe you're doing it all for naught! Now, there is a shimmer of hope, for something went amiss in the making of this game. Whether they couldn't meet a deadline or they were just lazy bastards, the makers of this game only designed 2 labyrinths. So if you remember how to get through the first 2, they just repeat. You'll have no problem finding your way through them again. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, for the enemies will be all new, and will cut you to ribbons in all new ways. If you know what you're doing and do not stop to scratch your ass, you can complete the 4 dungeons in little over a half hour. But let's face it, the first timer is gonna spend untold hours of this game hopelessly lost. This could feasibly take a whole day to work through. No battery backup, no passwords. And for all your effort, you busted your ass, not having an ounce of fun along the way, beating this game now becoming an act of principle. You conquer everything that this game throws at you, and you are greeted with this screen. And you'll be thinking, the f did I do wrong? I guess I very easily could have missed something, since I had no earthly idea what I've been doing this entire time! This game has one final mystery to lob at you. What in the hell happened? Maybe you're thinking this is like DuckTales, that there are multiple endings and you just missed something along the way and got the bad one. Spoiler alert, that's not it. Alright, well, maybe it's like Ghosts and Goblins, that you have to beat the game twice in a row in order to see the true ending? Spoiler alert, you are half right. Get this, you are not going to believe this. Say you beat the game again all the way through, and keep in mind how laborious this game is. You will see this. Yep, that is the exact same screen. That would lead you to believe you did something wrong, right? But nope. You are actually playing this game just as they intended. Now, return to starting point, challenge again! You have to beat this agonizing game 4 times in order to see the true ending! Why? And how are you expected to know that? Who would even think to do that? All in one sitting? No one would do that, I guarantee! Even the playtesters didn't do that! I'm not even joking when I say the only person who will see that end screen the correct way and just by chance is insane and should be locked up! I love going back and reflecting on my childhood, boy howdy, but isn't it infuriating when you realize we were being snake-oiled? As clear as the zits on my face, it's obvious what they were doing to us with this game. It's bad enough that some of we spent $60 to own this chunk of plastic, but those of us who rented it were so hopelessly lost, we had to rent it again and again and again just to conquer it. We had to buy issues of Nintendo Power just to make it through those initial baby steps, the strategy guide to make it even further than that. They wanted to sell that 1-900 tip line they had at the time. This wasn't just a game, it was an investment. If you wanted to beat every game in the NES library, and I know a lot of kids wanted that badge of honor back in the day, there were games like this, Mylon's Secret Castle, and Super Pitfall that required a little something extra. Extra patience and extra money! Dang, now this sure is one mystery quest. The controls are a mystery, the power-ups are a mystery, the way out the building's a mystery, what items you need to progress, mystery, what do you have to do to get these items, mystery, how many do you need, mystery, what do the items do, mystery, what are your short-term goals, mystery, what is the ultimate goal, mystery, what is the point of it all, why would anybody want to go through all this, why is this a damn video game, why did we buy it, why did so many of us like it, a mystery! Don't get me wrong, I do like the taste, but if you ask me, they're getting a bit lax. I get the idea that the Coca-Cola company is on a mission. They want to create a Coca-Cola of every feasible flavor on the planet. So what they're doing, they're taking a single flavor and they're going to change it slightly. The tiny little nominal changes along the way, and every change along the way, they're going to issue it as something different. When Coca-Cola started doing these experimental flavors, they did it the right way. We had Starlight. Starlight was a tough thing to really even sum up in a sentence. That's just how unique and out the ordinary it was. But then after that, they gave us the Dream World, which was its flavor, and then they gave us Move, which was just Dream World with a slight tweak, and now they give us this, which is just the Move with a slight tweak. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, they said it was infused with plus XP, which... I mean, yeah, that's just a made-up thing, but when I hear the term plus XP, that makes me think it's going to have some kind of weird jolt of flavor. There's no jolt of flavor here, it just tastes like the same dull, sugary taste. When you promise something like that, it puts an expectation in your head. It's an unspeakable thing, and perhaps that's why it's so difficult to pull it off. But I'm not going to say that it's impossible. You know who's good at this sort of thing? Frito-Lay. I especially think back to that Lay's Turn Up the Flavor promotion and all those wacky sounding flavor ideas. They were all out the box, but they weren't just blind labels. The names actually describe the flavors pretty well. Electric lime and sea salt hit you with a cooling jolt. Bacon wrapped jalapeno popper duet was a marriage of two separate tastes. Flamin' Hot Dill Pickle Remix had the heat, but at the same time it had that dill pickle flavor that added something a little bit extra. What does this have? It has plus XP flavor. I guess it's up to you to describe in your mind what the heck that would be, but to me, plus XP has got to have some kind of weird instant reaction out of you when you take a swallow. When I take a gulp of this, I expect some kind of reaction besides the taste of it. I expect to be, like, rocked a little bit. When I think of actually ingesting plus XP, I think of Mario getting the Starman and going dun 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 and just being infused with power. Don't get me wrong, the last thing the world needs right now is another energy drink. But I honestly think that would have been the right move here. Infuse this thing with boatloads of caffeine so when you take a swig of it, you feel an honest-to-God power up. That way, you're at least giving what you're promising. So if I were to give this a star rating, you might think that when I give out star ratings that I just come up with things off the top of my head and just say, here, that's the grade. But no, it's complicated. In this case, it's very complicated. I have to take into account the star rating that I gave the Dream World Coca-Cola. And you might remember, I only gave that the paltry score of 2 stars. This is definitely more deserving than that. I mean, it's not exactly the same as the Dream World Coca-Cola. It is nominally better. As I said at the beginning of this episode, they are making tiny little tweaks to this flavor along the way. So for that, I think it deserves at least a 2.5 star rating. And you might be wondering, why isn't the rating showing up on the screen right now? Well, because there's more. Because there's no excuse for them to just keep shoveling out the same flavor over and over and over again and just calling it something completely different. Look at the damn bottle. It looks nothing like the Move or the Dream World. The bottle should at least look similar because they're giving us the same damn flavor. They're trying to trick us. So yes, for its taste, this deserves 2.5 stars. Might even deserve a little bit more than that. But you know what? I'm gonna give it 2 stars just for being freaking lazy. And I'm sure before the year is done, Coca-Cola is gonna hit us with at least one more of these things. My advice to them is, you gotta do one of 2 things. Number 1, you're not gonna like. You gotta take a page from Frito-Lay. I know they're technically your enemy. Frito-Lay and PepsiCo are technically the same company. But you need to pay attention to what they're doing and copy it. And number 2, something you might like even less, because I am such a snarky asshole after all, take a tip from me. Go back and watch my Mango Pepsi review. In that review, I gave a top 20. I gave the ideas out for free of the flavors that are gonna make big bucks. I'm not gonna say they're all delicious, but people are gonna buy them. In fact, I will tell you specifically what to do. This requires no thought on your part. Just follow my instructions. You put out raspberry flavored Coke. It's something you've never made before, and I've made it at the Coca-Cola remix machines at Burger King all the time, and it tastes fantastic. You make raspberry Coke, and you call it something cool. Don't call it raspberry Coke. Give it one of your cool little buzzwords like Coca-Cola Nebula or something like that. You put that out on the shelves, that thing's gonna stand the test of time, guaranteed. You ever hear the term beating a dead horse? Well, this flavor, Coca-Cola Ultimate, is beyond a dead horse. It is the walking dead. It's actually up and about, and it doesn't have any idea that the soul is gone from its eyes, but it just keeps moving and reintroducing itself to us. Put the flavor in the ground where it belongs. It's your good buddy DJ Clive saying until next time. Alright, for game number 2 on the queue, I'm looking at Crude Buster. Made for the arcades by the company Data East in the grand old year of 1990. Known in some circles as Two Crude Dudes, this is actually a pseudo-sequel to Bad Dudes, an older Data East coin op that I never really particularly cared for. But don't be fooled by its affiliation. This is a brand new title, taking place in a bonkers post-apocalyptic world where all rules are out the window. Check out this action. Tell me if you saw this at your local arcade that it wouldn't tempt you to put some quarters in. Looks damned amazing, has a cool bass-thumping soundtrack, and its playful sense of humor shines through. But, how does it play? First, take a look at my attacks. Okay, now take a look at some of the enemies that I'll have to fight. You immediately see the problem, right? This character, I don't know what his name is, so I'm just gonna call him Stumpy. Cause he's little but a giant hitbox, with tiny arms and legs that barely exit that box, with an impotent little jump, and he moves as slow as slug sex. All your enemies, even these low-level Nintendo lookalikes, are taller and lankier with superior reach. You don't have to just be close to them to hit them with your feeble attacks. You have to be in them! And you gotta be extremely lucky to get that close. If ever I needed some plus XP, it's now! On top of that, most enemies move at least twice as fast as you do. Most have jumps that completely cover the screen. None of the incoming punches are actually animated, meaning that 1 second your opponent will be idle, the next, the fist will already be in your face, making it impossible to dodge. They have long-range weapons, they have projectiles, they have guns, people! There is even a character who can kill you instantly with a single attack, no matter how much energy you have! Witness my attack and how much energy it deals. Now, look how much energy a single enemy attack does to me! At this point, what does it even matter? Emasculate me even more. How about while I'm down, you can have the enemies steal my wallet? Maybe you can animate them giving me noogies or flushing my head down a toilet. What? Did that enemy just hit me 5 times with a single kick? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yup. But that's not cheap. It's challenge, right? Probably my fault for not being able to keep my distance using my jump kick. Wouldn't it be nice to have a good old jump kick? Well, take it from someone who has spent more time playing this game than he's willing to admit. I honestly don't know if the jump kick does any damage! Look! I clearly struck this boss with it a number of times. I have yet to see his energy bar go down! In what world is your jump kick your least powerful move? It's gonna sound like I'm joking, but I'm not. Never have I ever played a game where you are more ill-equipped to deal with the task at hand. Essentially, everyone you meet in this game is more powerful than you. Yes, that tiny little Santa Claus throwing syringes, the guy in the hazmat suit with the flamethrower, this idiot in the armadillo costume. I love how he stops and snickers at me. Man, hey buddy, you like my costume? I'm an armadillo. Man, you jealous? You know what? Yes, I am. I want an armadillo costume. I want to throw some syringes. I want to mutate and turn into wall-crawling alien. I want one measly thing that you dirtbags have, because you and your gang are all more powerful than me, faster than me, cooler than me, can do more than me, and I would trade places with any of you in a nanosecond! I guess it's like real life. I'd have to be an inferior human being if my only purpose were to bust the crude. I know, some of you are already bringing up Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Wasn't Dr. Jekyll even less equipped to deal with the task at hand? Well, I offer this rebuttal. His task at hand was to go for a brisk morning walk. And look at him. He sure can walk. Sadly, even though it's no fun at all, you have to employ 2 strategies to get anywhere in this game. 1, you encounter a boss, immediately try to glitch him. Most of they have a specific place where you can stand and mash an attack button and barely take any damage. And 2, after you die, and you will die, take advantage of that charitable 5 seconds of invincibility and get in as much cheap damage as you can. You saw that, right? I'm invincible! You shouldn't be allowed to do that! Not only can they do that, but by around stage 4 or so, you better just get used to it. Cause when you respawn after dying, chances are it will be within a mob of enemies. If there is a big bald guy in there, he's gonna throw you. And there is literally nothing you can do about it. Oh, and by the way, if the bald guys have weapons and you don't have anything to throw, instant guaranteed damage. Keep in mind how slow I move. You can't time this! It would be easier to stick your hand in and out of a ceiling fan! What? Just 1 stage ago, this guy was an end boss, and now there are 3 of them? In fact, everything shown on screen here was once an end boss. That wasn't that long ago, and I haven't gotten any stronger since to make up for it. This stage is hell!
Continue.
As unbeatable your enemies are, your main obstacles are more so situations. For one, picking things up. Yeah, I know that's the whole allure of the game. It's what caught my attention in the first place. But a lot of times it might be better to just leave that traffic light in the cement where it belongs. When it works great. But more often than not, it'll get you killed. First of all, lifting the item has its own designated button. I must have captured 4 hours of footage for the purpose of this review, and I gotta say, this does not get any easier with practice. Once you pick the thing up, your instinct is to use the attack button to either throw it or swat it around, and that does nothing, just a feeble little kick. You have to use the lift button instead. So here you are, vulnerable, holding a car over your head, leaving yourself a willing punching bag to your enemies. You get hit once, you lose the weapon. 2 times in this game I came across a whip. I don't think I ever got to enjoy it because it was always swiftly knocked out of my hand. Damn it, I want to use the whip. It looks fun, it's green. Green's my favorite color. A few scenarios will require your character to jump to a tier above and clear out some high-dwelling enemies. Let me tell you from experience, this is a death sentence. Because not only do your punches typically have no effect on anything climbing the wall, but as you're up there, the floor is flooding with foes. And they're not coming up to say hi, they're waiting for you to come to them. And eventually, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, hold your horses, Quentin, I'm coming down. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sucked, by the way.
Now, in a well-made game such as Ghosts and Goblins, you can trick an enemy to one side to give yourself some time to get up or down that ladder and meet him head on. It's difficult, and by all means, doable. But here, your character moves so damn slow even the lowliest foot soldier can outrun you. They're right beneath you, mimicking your every move. Jumping down there literally costs you a quarter. You'd have an easier time jumping into a pit of boiling acid and avoiding the acid! After sinking the equivalent of a life savings into the crude buster machine, you might be able to see the ending. And I don't think you're ready for such poetry.
Hey, we made it. We've got a big prize. Yeah, it was a bit hard though. Get out of here and have a drink, pal. Okay.
Thanks to Crude Buster, New York is saved out of the evil hands of Big Valley. Crude Buster, born to fight, not always for the crude of justice. They are the men of fighting. Keep going on, Crude Buster, for another combat.
I love the way that sentence is phrased. He's basically telling his brother,
I've been hanging out with you for hours and I'm tired of it. Why don't you go to a bar and drink alone tonight? In fact, I order you to.
You might be wondering why I chose this particular game to review here today. Because, yes, this is a bad game, but a game that is uniquely bad. Look at it! It should have been cool, right? Right! And it could have easily been cool. I think of just a few simple tweaks. Get rid of the lift button. Give the attack some reasonable damage. Have the weapons last forever until I get hit. Let me double tap in a direction to run so I can avoid things. Maybe give me a super move like when I hit jump and attack at the same time? But the people behind this game were not out to make a masterpiece. They wanted to make a scam to gobble up money. I never encountered this arcade cabinet out in the wild, and I'm glad that I didn't. Because this game is like a succubus or a siren from Greek myth. It lures you in with its beauty, and once it has its hooks in you, it bites straight to the hip of your pants right where you keep your wallet. To get anywhere in this game, you're gonna have to drop some serious legal tender and waste lots of precious time. And when it's all over, you're making that long, embarrassing walk home. Your wallet is empty and your thumb and wrist are aching you. The only words in your mind are the same words that were echoing through your head that whole playthrough.
What a day. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a day.
Once again, keep those requests coming. I honestly don't have any plans for more hitting the checkpoint at this point. But if you give me a good or bad enough game that I simply can't pass up, I'll make it happen. It's the curse of my personality. I'm DJ Clive, and once again, I've just hit the checkpoint, and I'll see you in Limbo!